The smoking ban, the Clean Indoor Air Initiative. By any name, it's a subject that, to say the least, lights a fire under people.
You know, it's like you're taking the freedoms away from some people to give to someone else.
Secondhand smoke kills 53,000 people each year in the United States. It's not about business rights, it's about public health.
The 10-page draft of an ordinance amending Chapter 17 of the city's Code of Ordinances entitled Health and Sanitation, as it currently reads, would ultimately eliminate smoking of any type in just about every public building. And while for many residents who smoke, the issue is about their right to do so wherever they please, for the group responsible for getting the ball rolling on the ordinance, the issue is about their rights as well. Clean Air St. Joe Coalition Coordinator, Dr. Sarah Summers.
No one is telling you not to smoke. That's absolutely your personal, private right. But, like you've heard in several of the public hearings, when you smoke in indoor public places, you are infringing on the rights of the non-smoker. And so in order to have equality there, we're just asking people to step outside.
Quite a ways outside, actually.
In the language that they have written, you can't smoke 25 feet outside of any door. That means decks, that means sidewalks, that means out back, that means any place. 25 feet outside of any business door.
Steve Grimes says he's been a cigarette smoker for 25 years, and for the last 3 of those years, he's been the owner of Cafe Acoustic.
90% of my customers smoke, and they're worried about their rights. As a smoker, you know, people that come here are over 21. There's no minors ever allowed in here, and it affects their freedom of choice.
But according to the Clean Air Camp, much of the fervor in their push for a smoke-free public atmosphere revolves around the health of a workforce that may not have much choice when it comes to the air they breathe while on the clock.
We feel that all workers need to be protected, and you know, as a former smoker, one of the reasons that I wanted to quit smoking was so that I wouldn't have the health effects down the road. And when you start to see the data that, wow, you may as well be smoking when you're in a smoke-filled environment, when you realize how truly detrimental it is.
The ordinance quotes a 2006 Surgeon General's report stating there is no risk-free level of exposure to secondhand smoke. And the only effective way to ensure secondhand smoke exposure doesn't occur in the workplace is for the city to prohibit smoking in indoor workplaces and public places. But that in itself begs the question, does secondhand smoke truly pose a danger? Cardiothoracic surgeon Dr. Jane Schwabe.
Well, it's just as deadly as firsthand smoke, basically. It took a while for us to figure that out, but it still leads to heart disease, leads to lung cancer, emphysema, all the things that smoking does. It just takes longer to show up.
Dr. Schwabe says there's no question the actual smoker is getting the brunt of any negative effects that come from smoke. But she says there's also no denying the negative effects to the passive smoker.
Well, it's the same chemicals that are released. They're just more concentrated when you're the primary smoker. So it takes more of it in the atmosphere to affect a secondhand smoker. It's not like any of the toxins are neutralized by being out there in the air.
To be fair, Dr. Schwabe does support the Clean Air Initiative, and she's even made an appearance or two at some of the many meetings that have been held here behind me at City Hall. But the dangers of secondhand smoking really haven't been up for debate. At least they haven't been at all those meetings. So what has been up for debate? The effect a ban on indoor smoking would have on businesses.
If the way the law that they have it written stands now, it probably won't affect me at all. If they change the law and they make it to where my business has to be smoke-free, it would be devastating to me.
Current language would keep Grimes from going smoke-free, but he says many of his colleagues do not fall under any exemption and fear if ordinance becomes law, business will dry up.
I think it's horrible that a business owner doesn't have the right or the ability to operate his business in the manner he sees fit. Somebody coming in and putting extra laws on the way they operate, it's already hard enough.
Probably the biggest opposition is the small business owner who is a little uncertain what the road ahead entails. But the great thing, if there is a silver lining to being last, is that we've learned from community after community, state after state, that This does not negatively decrease sales tax revenue.
The University of Missouri researched communities in the state that passed various forms of clean air initiatives to determine whether they had a negative effect, positive effect, or no effect at all on city sales tax revenue. And on a much smaller scale, so did we. We spoke to managers at 6 randomly selected restaurants in 6 of those cities, and here's what we found. First up, Mulligan's Grill in Baldwin, Missouri, who told us it actually helped their business. The folks at 54th Street Grill in Blue Springs tell us the ban significantly hurt their business. Then Blue in Columbia, no effect there. Also giving us the no effect answer, Cafe Verona in Independence. Moving on to Bellacino's in Kirksville. They also said no effect. And finally, Buckingham's in Nixa, Missouri, no effect there either. 6 randomly selected restaurants, 4 of which said a ban had no effect on their bottom line. 3 more public meetings on the issue will take place before the City Council decides what action to take. Council members could adopt it, change it, throw it out, or place the decision in the hands of the people of St. Joe. Alex Flippin, Fox 26, KNPN.